The Nocturnal Detective Agency receives a request to investigate an unusual drowning. Was it suicide or murder? Will Master Detective Halara be able to solve this odd and onerous case?
Halara, do you know where the milk I put in the fridge went? I was saving it for my coffee.
Who puts milk in coffee, you fucking psychopath?
That's my seat, you know.
Not when you're not in it.
How much?
Huh?
How much do you want for it? I'll pay your asking price. Well?
You gotta be kidding. Fine. Just keep sitting there.
I will.
Damn. What a stone cold bitch.
Someone's coming.
I fucking love her.
I wasn't expecting guests.
All the girls in this are fucking incredible. Even the blandest, most vanilla waifu was fucking god tier in this game. Oh, she's kinda cute too. Let me guess, your husband died? Are you a widow? Are you available?
Right this way. It's a bit cramped in here.
Are you the chief of the Nocturnal Detective Agency?
Yes.
My name is Tetra. Pleased to meet you.
I'm the chief. That's just one of our...
No, you're a chief. Chief.
Oh, excuse me.
I'm the chief. You're more like Chief Keef.
His desk here, so
You cheap chief. Rip-off motherfucker.
My seat gets stolen the moment I leave it open. Let's sit down.
I was told you investigate murders.
A murder case. It's possible for us to handle it, but...
You're fucking detectives. Isn't that like your job?
Depends on whether or not the peacekeepers have already gone through it.
I see. My father passed away in a rather bizarre manner.
Oh, your father.
The peacekeepers declared it was an accidental death.
So are you married or not? I need to
I
know.
just can't believe it was an accident.
I have to know whether or not I can freely, unconditionally, unmorally add you to my harem of beautiful ladies.
Why do you suspect that it wasn't one?
My father kept tropical fish as a hobby.
Of course he
One
did.
morning, he was found dead, drowned with his head stuck in the fish tank.
How does that sound like I'm a... Bro, alright. Let me ask any of you niggas, if you were to commit suicide, would you do it by drowning in a fish tank? No. Come on. Obvious murder. Case closed.
The fish tank is
Your dad was done dirty by some fucking dickhead. Easy.
My father was in a kneeling position, with his head dunked into the water.
That sounds like some mafia shit.
That sure is bizarre.
Oh, you know what'd be cool? Like dunking somebody's head in a fish tank full of piranhas. That would be fucking sick. I know a murder if I ever make a slasher film.
Switch with wet hands,
There's going to involve an animal store and there's going to be piranhas.
unfortunately.
Are you sure the cause of death was drowning?
That's fucking metal as shit.
Yes, that appears to be the case without a doubt. A trustworthy doctor did the autopsy.
Uh-huh, sure. How much was he bribed?
From what you've said...
Can't really trust anybody in this fucking town. Maybe the doctor fucking killed him and then declared him fucking dead. Ooh.
The problem is the room where my father passed away. It was obvious that someone else had rummaged around.
And this dumb bitch still thinks it's a possible potential suicide. How fucking stupid are you?
Tropical fish tanks lined up.
What
But
the
at the time
fuck?
My father died. All of them were shattered to pieces. And of course there was water and dead fish all over the floor.
Oh, what if one tank cracked, he slipped in the water, and then made all his way across the room, and then fucking fell into the fish tank and drowned to
My
death?
father was murdered by whoever did that.
So you don't think it was a suicide? Then why even fucking bring up the potentiality of a suicide? You're dumb. You're dumb as shit. You're stupider than Fubuki. I think she's dumber than
I
Fubuki.
wasn't paying attention.
Exactly.
Don't lie. There's no way you couldn't hear us.
This bitch sounded so dumb I tuned out halfway through, Chief.
Was involved.
Come on, man.
I can pay. My father left me an inheritance.
Did somebody say inheritance?
Our rates are always reasonable here.
Then you'll investigate this case on my behalf?
Huh?
Come on, Halara, say the famous line for 200 million Shien. Come on.
Of course.
Come on, do it.
As detectives sworn to protect this town, we can't leave any mysteries unsolved.
I have a feeling that Chief Yako's affordable rates compared to Halara's affordable rates are very, very different. The difference is getting a house in the fucking shittiest district of California or getting a house in Poshley Heights.
As for investigating this case, we'll check out the crime scene soon. Promise.
Why don't you bow to us after we solve your father's definite murder instead of before?
Please.
Dumbass bimbo, get the fuck out of my submarine.
It's not like I have a choice. I can't just abandon people in need.
Yes, you can! I do it all the time! Every time you walk past a homeless person, not sure if they're blitzed out of their mind on God knows what, or God's sugar dust, or whatever the fuck, and you don't want to buy them a bottle of fucking booze because they're fucking too poor to afford it themselves, if they're gonna feed their own depression, they should be the ones to fucking do it, and you feel bad morally making that decision for somebody else, and you decide to not give them any money and instead go to McDonald's and get yourself a Big Mac, that's the kind of life we live as people.
Depends on the payment.
You know I don't have a lot of money.
So you're throwing me in the line of fire, thanks, dick.
For cheap.
Exactly.
Then, how about a deal instead?
For the chair.
What deal?
For the chair.
If you solve this case, I'll let you keep a cat here.
What? Damn it, he knows my weakness. Small furry creatures, son of a bitch.
Really?
Damn it. That's like an abdomen stab. Fuck.
Hey, where are you going?
To the crime scene.
I'm going to buy myself a fucking chair that nice.
Just left. Why don't you wait until tomorrow?
Why don't you suck my balls? You threw me in the line of fire, you fucking dick! You obligated me to help this random fucking bum-ass woman! Come on, man.
This fee is cheaper than I thought.
Where's she gonna get a fucking cat from? Now we have to go get some random stray off the street, much like that fucking lady that worked her way in here asking us to fucking do the fucking case regarding her dead, totally fucking murdered father. Shit. Depends on the mood. The worse the mood, the sweeter the taste. The better the mood, the lighter the taste.
Thank you for coming. You really are willing to investigate.
God damn it, are you her husband?
Well, that's our
Please say
duty at the
brother.
Internal Detective Agency.
Not that kind of brother.
Your house is pretty big. Your
And
father
wet.
must've been well off.
Yes.
Bin. Past
My
tense.
father owned a medical devices company. He contributed to Conai Ward's medical advancements for years.
And yet he couldn't get himself a scuba
I
suit?
can't believe he met his end like this.
Yeah, me neither. How can you not afford a fucking scuba suit?
Thank you.
You're a rich philanthropist and you can't afford a fucking scuba suit?
This is my fiance, Jaren.
Damn it!
We've been living together for about a year now.
He has a stupid name, too!
I'd like to ask you more about the details later, but can we take a look at the scene for now? Oh, before that, do you have a photo of your
It would have been cool if his name was like Damien or something neat like that, but no, Jaren.
Picture from when he was still alive.
Damn it.
Thank you. Halara, over here.
He got himself a winner there, because he's definitely not something to fucking write home about himself.
A bit too cramped for all of us to be wandering about. I'll keep
Yeah,
speaking with you
you do
outside.
that.
Talk to me when you're done.
You fucking do that,
Understood.
Chief Yako, if that is your real name. Chief.
Now, time to review the
Look at how fit she is. Jesus fucking goddamn Christ. I think that's the first time I've ever seen her from the legs up. Holy fucking shit.
Want to remember this?
In clues, you can review the info of acquired clues.
I see.
The equipment and food for the tropical fish are placed together. Seems like nothing has been used since the incident. There's some dust.
Right.
There's some stains on the floor. It is likely due to the water spilled from the fish tanks. Other than that, nothing else seems suspicious.
It's a regular sliding window with a crescent lock. There are no suspicious marks on it. There's a small veranda outside. We're on the 2nd floor, so any rain that falls off the eaves flows to the drain.
That's smart. Having a drain outside, that's actually a pretty good idea.
What is this? There's a stain here that looks like a horizontal line.
Yeah, I can see that. It looks like it's water damaged.
There appears to be a faint outline of the same stain along all 4 walls.
It's on the door as well. That's odd. What could that mean? This is where the body was found. Let's check out the door. There's damage on the bottom end. I'm wondering what the thing in the middle is.
Substance stuck to the door frame.
Sticky substance.
Perhaps tape residue?
Tape residue. There are traces of a sticky substance like tape residue on the door frame. Interesting, okay.
All of the fish tanks have been shattered.
Tanks have been
There's
shattered.
glass scattered on the inside, which means it's certain someone smashed it inward.
Right.
Why would someone do this?
Smashed it inward. Yeah, that's understandable. But none of these carts seem to be on wheels. The water that's covering the floor doesn't appear to be on this side of the room. I think it's safe to assume that these tanks were not stacked on top of one another, and I don't believe these tanks were moved from one side of the room to the other. If these were mobile, I would believe that these tanks would have been originally facing this wall, but how would they have been smashed inward? And that still doesn't explain the residue or the damage, the water damage, all across the interior of the room at that height. There's a fan. Yeah, a fan vent.
There's some blue paint on the inner side of the frame. Looks like something rubbed against it. This may have something to do with the case.
Something rubbed against it. I've investigated the things of note, but...
That's about all I can investigate for now. I should go talk to our clients before I observe the crime scene at the time the body was discovered.
I'm trying to think of what the vent would allude
The
to.
crime scene has been inspected, Chief.
Thanks.
What would the vent allude to? Thinking something to do with moisture, but why the paint?
Yes.
Unless somebody reached through it after getting paint on their hand or
Can you give
something.
me the details of when you
To
discovered
drop
the body?
something in, maybe?
It was, I think, around 6 in the morning. My father usually woke up early for breakfast.
But that doesn't make sense, because if the fan is on this end and the fan was in operation, you wouldn't be able to reach through the hole
So I
past the
looked
fan.
around and noticed Sugar barking at this room.
Sugar?
That's the name of our dog.
Okay, can you not do that? That's a loud-ass dog. Yeah, Halara's really big into animals.
Sure is happy. She's rarely friendly with him.
Halara loves animals, so...
She barks at me all the time.
There.
Shall we continue?
Oh, sorry. Sugar was barking in front of the room, so
In front of the
I opened
room.
the door to take a look. There I saw my father. His head was in the fish tank. He was already gone.
I heard her scream and ran over. But what I saw took my breath away. The fish tanks were all destroyed, and the floor was covered with water. All the tropical fish Father loved were scattered across the floor, dead.
Did Jaren do it for the inheritance? She mentioned that she had a very sizable inheritance.
I don't
I'm
know how
assuming
much
that
they
this
were
dude
worth.
knows about it.
Fact is, my father cared for them a great deal.
This guy's seeming kinda sus. He's wearing a fucking turtleneck. I don't trust this idiot.
Are you implying my father's murder was an afterthought?
Well, I'm
It
just
might have
considering
been.
possibilities.
Considering the inheritance that you
If
have.
they were going to steal the fish, I doubt they'd smash the tanks. You're right.
I think this has something to do with her
Estimated time of
inheritance.
death for the victim?
And this seems like more of an inside job than an outside one. That's how I'm perceiving this, so that's how I'm gonna mentally track this one out.
Right around 7 that night. I ate dinner with him. He went to his room after that.
According to the Peacekeepers, something. Didn't get a chance to read that.
It's just me and him now. The servant left after making dinner before 7.
Okay, so the servant left. I don't think it would be anything to do with the servant. I think that's a red herring.
After finishing dinner with my father, I did some cleaning and washed the dishes. Jaren came to the dining hall around 8 for dinner.
Could it be possible that the water was replaced with something else? Like maybe the cleaners in the room?
I know for certain we were together between 8 and midnight.
No, because if you were going to drown somebody in a fish tank, you wouldn't need cleaner to do it, would you?
Such as to go to the bathroom.
I don't think so.
Were there any screams or sounds of a struggle around 10 at night?
No, not at all.
So something I'm noticing is the dog seems to be calm around Jaren, though.
Who entered that room?
And if I'm thinking from a dog perspective, like I'm not much of a dog person, but if the dog belongs to Tetra and her father, and the dog noticed some malicious intent, or her father being murdered by this Jaren guy, I'm sure the dog would have been barking like a motherfucker. And this guy wasn't here when she walked into the room, right? And Jaren said that he swung around. How tall is the balcony?
Only my father used this room.
What did the Peacekeepers have?
Because the sliding glass door it mentioned had a crescent lock, and I don't know how a crescent lock operates, but it's maybe possible that Jaren
That he lost control and smashed all the tanks himself.
drowned her father in the fish tank, left via the balcony, circled back around, came into the room, locked the door, and then walked back out of the room and closed the door, and then she discovered it. But if she came upon the initial crime scene and the dog was barking, the dog must have had some sort of incentivized reason to be barking at that particular time frame. Maybe it's because the dog heard noises or something?
About your father during dinner?
He was sad about the fish, but he ate normally. I didn't notice anything in particular.
Also, why the smashing of the fish
I
tanks?
think he was so distraught that he'd smash all the tanks on his own.
You're right. But that's what the Peacekeepers
I'm eager
told
to see
us
what the
happened.
fish tanks have to do with it.
I'll take another look around. For now, I'd like to ask you to leave the room.
Oh, you know what I'm thinking? Maybe all the fish tanks being smashed together. This seems like awfully ludicrous, but maybe all the tanks in conjunction of being smashed together allowed the water to rise to the level which caused the damage on the wall. And then the water was drained via the balcony drain when the door was unlatched. Maybe.
The trump card is still face down.
I'm trying to think of how this would have been constructed and erected. Oh, that makes sense. Okay, maybe Postcog will help us out. I forgot all about that. Maybe Postcog will help us deduce this. So this is how the crime scene first was when the body was discovered.
The victim's body is kneeling against the edge of a fish tank.
Kneeling.
With his head inside.
Right.
The other tanks. This one is smashed up too. Looking closely, it is soaking wet.
Soaking wet. So that would imply if he was soaking wet and he was just drowned.
But for his whole body to be soaked.
Yeah, his whole body to be soaked. So that leads me to believe that the support of the idea that I had that all the tanks were smashed in conjunction with one another led to the water level within the room, and the seal of the door in that door retained the water. And then I'm assuming all the water to have been outlet via the veranda through the drain, I think. Possibly.
I see.
But that seems like kind of a... Like, it seems hard to believe. I don't think the water would reach that level. All the tanks are smashed inward. Even when seen through post-cognition, so the tanks were already smashed.
I see.
At the time the body was found, many things were scattered around. Could this sort of mess be caused by just a broken fish tank? Equipment used for keeping tropical fish was scattered around. Maybe it's scattered around because it was floating and bobbing in the water. Because, like, now that I'm looking at the floor, I can see the dead fish. So, I think the theory about the objects floating in the water and the room being filled with the water from the fish tanks is accurate. That's the only thing that I can surmise. It's the only thing I can think. And that's why all the things are strewn about. It's because they were floating in the water. And the floor is entirely drenched. I think that makes sense. Wall stains. Do they see any more recent? Seems the stains on the walls were present when the body was found. Stains are darker than they are currently. Does that mean they were made around this time? Aha! That's what I wanted. I wanted to know if the marks were faded or not. Because if we're taking into account water damage to a wall, it would be darker. Like the residue and the traces of water damage would be darker because they haven't had time to air out and dry yet. So I think it's reason enough to believe that the room was filled with water up to that level. And there's no paint on the vent yet. There's no paint on the vent yet. Even when seen through post-cog, rub marks and what looked like whatever. Okay. So the traces are not there now. That's interesting. And let me guess, the residue from the door is gone. Traces of a sticky substance are on the frame with some kind of tape stuck on. Maybe something to seal the door. Maybe some sort of sealant to retain the water from going through the cracks in the door, mayhaps? Ah, look. The stain is across the sliding doors as well. Aha.
It's not locked. Anyone can come and go through here.
And it's not locked.
Perhaps this is how the culprit entered the place.
Yeah. That's why I was wondering how tall the veranda deck was from the ground.
There's a dead tropical fish in a drain on the veranda.
So if the water were to be circulated and pulled toward the drain when the door was opened, that would explain the fish ending up there.
I'm beginning to see the truth behind this case.
I think I am too.
That's all the investigating I need to do for now.
That's cool.
Are you done?
I'm sorry, I'm gonna take this off of auto really fast. I will be right back.
The dog has something in her mouth.
Hey, Sugar!
It looks like a hose. So maybe the hose was put through the ventilation duct.
What's this?
Perhaps.
That's Sugar's favorite toy. It's just a rubber hose tied up in a knot. Ever since she was a puppy, Sugar has loved playing tug-of-war with a rubber hose. So I still make toys out of hoses like this. But I don't think I made one for her recently. Where did she get it from?
Exactly. Maybe it was used in the murder.
Wow, that's interesting.
It is interesting, isn't
Take a
it?
look.
Wait, don't touch it.
What's wrong?
Put that in a plastic bag without touching it directly. I believe it's evidence.
Me too.
That's evidence?
Yes.
Consider it a precaution.
How's the investigation?
So I don't think the water was siphoned using the hose
Right?
through the
Did
duct.
my father pass away due to an accident?
I thought the door would have been open to leash the water outside onto the veranda
answer is
deck.
clear. This was no accident, but a murder.
I think so as well, and I think Jaren's responsible.
Really?
Yes.
What makes you think it's a murder?
My thinking.
Come on, dude, are you fucking blind?
No, it's not enough to disprove the theory that it was an accident. Reviewing it more carefully,
Are you out of your fucking mind?
no, it's not enough to.
I don't know what the fuck they're getting at here, if I'm being honest.
No,
I don't know what they're getting at. I don't know what they're getting at. Okay, so it's not the wall, because open and shattered doesn't pertain to the wall. So this is just something that I'm going to have to force my way through, because I don't understand what the context is here. I don't understand what they're getting at. There's so many different things here that allude to it being a murder, but I can't decisively pinpoint which exact thing they want.
as you can see, this fish tank was destroyed like all the others. That is far too strange. It means something logically impossible occurred.
Impossible? What do you mean?
I shouldn't have to explain it.
I don't understand how they want me to deduce
If it
that.
was in the tank, then it had to be filled with water. But as you can see, the fish tank is destroyed, meaning it is unable to contain water.
Oh, I see, okay. Alright, now that I understand the context and the implication that they're trying to get at, now it makes sense.
So
Because
how
it was previously implied that the victim was drowned via the fish tank.
water?
But when we discovered the body, the fish tank was already shattered, so it wouldn't be able to retain water.
The victim was disoriented.
So it's not sufficient evidence to deduce that he was drowned in the fish tank.
But if the victim was
So we're
still
contradicting
alive,
that directly. Like, it's a lot easier with
it would have
context.
been impossible for him to have drowned.
That's why I'm saying, in a room full of like 90 options, I don't know how you expect me to muscle my way through and pinpoint the one option
Like an accident.
that's accurate.
The culprit must have believed this camouflage would be enough to fool the peacekeepers.
So my father was murdered.
Yes, there is no mistake about it.
Yeah, but it's fucking stupid logically that we have to take that one detail out of everything present to be able to confirm that it was a murder.
Wanted to make the victim
If there's that much compiling evidence that cohesively works hand in hand to make this murder possible, why do I gotta pin out this one detail?
cover would be blown?
It's kinda weird.
And plus, all the fish tanks were destroyed.
Then again, I do have a... Like, the way my brain works is I skip all the steps and come to a conclusion and then work my way backwards instead of working my way forwards.
The tanks required a lot of effort.
But I take some of the details from mentally working my way forward to do my backtracking and my deduction.
We have to assume
If that makes sense.
unavoidable reason behind it.
So whenever I play these games, I'm always multiple steps ahead, instead of going along the mental path that they're going
I
along.
must investigate further to find that out.
So, like, that makes
I'll
sense.
report back once I find the answer.
Yes, please.
Has anyone outside your family entered or left the house recently?
I don't think so.
Like I said, the context helps. Now that I know that they're thinking along the line of why was it strange, now it, like, makes sense.
Allow me to change the question. Have you recently done any remodeling or repairs to the home?
Oh, now that you mention it. The rain gutters on the roof were broken, so Jaren fixed them.
Did he now?
He fixed the rain gutters?
Yes, he's an avid DIYer. He not only
DIYer,
fixed all the
huh?
parts, but also checked the gutters around the whole building, which was a lot of work.
DIYer, you say? Ah.
I see. That concludes my investigation.
What? Are
Yep,
you
I
sure
think it
that's
concludes mine as well. Yep.
Jeez, you're You're always off in your own world.
I sure do.
I'm sorry about that. Our ace detective isn't very friendly. That being said, I believe this case will be solved soon. Please be patient for just a bit longer.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Righty then. I think I got this one in the bag, honestly.
Halara, just as you suspected, it could be the fiancé. Jaren has been living in the client's home and mooching off her since he got fired from his job a year back. He's in quite a lot of debt, too. At one point, he was spending almost all his time in casinos. He kept asking the client's father for money, but was always denied. Seems the father was also against their marriage.
So money is the motive. If the father were to die, the daughter would inherit everything. So if he married her, the money would be his.
Makes sense. The thing is, that man has an alibi.
How airtight is it,
The
though?
victim's estimated time of death is 10 at night. There's no mistake that Jaren was with the client at that time. It makes no sense to suspect Tetra, since she's our client. So we have to assume his alibi is airtight.
Right.
Was it ever stated that her father did not know how to
His
swim?
alibi is perfect.
Because if the water reached the ceiling, he would undoubtedly drown, because he wouldn't be able to get out of the room. The water pressure would keep him from unlocking the doors.
So, as it stands, it's...
But I don't think the pressure would be high enough to be able to break the glass.
No.
I think the water would just be contained, like the room itself is a giant fish tank.
Certain trick was used,
Yeah, exactly, that's what I'm saying. How airtight is it?
but I still lack hard evidence.
Exactly, well this is one of those cases where you can't have hard evidence. Yeah, this is one of those cases where you're going to have to go off assumption.
Sure about this?
Yes.
We'll make our move tonight. Let's go to the client.
So I think it's possible that the water pressure sealed off the doorways so that her father couldn't escape the room. But the implication here is that the water only reached halfway to the height of the room. So that would imply that her father didn't know how to swim and drowned in the room and then ended up in the fish tank by floating over. I would imagine. And then was found kneeling with his head in the fish tank, right?
Is it true that you know the truth behind this case?
That's right, miss. Allow me to explain. The key detail for this case is the victim's cause of death. Without a doubt, the victim died by drowning. But making it look like he drowned in the fish tank was camouflage. Why would such a thing even be needed? Because it secured the killer's alibi.
You said that the victim's time of death was around 10 p.m. In other words, the culprit secured their alibi at the same time as they murdered the victim. Is that really possible?
Through a certain trick, it was possible to drown the victim even if the culprit wasn't there.
Drown him?
That's what I thought.
Being there?
That's why I was wondering how airtight the
trick
alibi
the
was.
culprit used was
Okay, well, it can't be flooded the room. It can't be sealed the room because he can't seal the room with... So, I don't think it's the hose. I think it's the vent that I have to pick here.
That's Sugar's toy.
If you untie the knot, it returns to being a hose. This was what was first used in the crime.
Sorry, I sped up because I assumed I got it wrong.
Don't tell me that's the murder weapon.
If you check the vent,
It's hard to deduce the way they want you to go about things neurologically.
it was likely passed through the
That's what I was thinking with the hose in the vent.
Put the hose in the vent. Why would anyone do
And that's why there was the blue residue. I noticed that the rope was blue and that the vent had blue residue on it.
for its original purpose.
its original purpose?
One end of the hose was placed on the edge of the rain gutter on the veranda side.
That's what I thought.
Prior to this, the culprit adjusted the rain gutter so that the hose could be inserted into it.
That's why I said DIYer.
Rainwater from the gutter passed
That's what
through
gave
the
it the
hose,
fuck away.
filling the room.
Jaren is the only one that could have done this.
What do you mean? Halara, you think this place got flooded with rainwater?
Yes, I do. That's what I
Our
thought.
Trench the whole place.
And then that explains why the fish tanks were
The room
smashed.
was, in fact, drenched.
To give the illusion
That was because of the
that there was a
broken fish
break-in.
tanks, right?
That's part of it. But the main reason was due to rainwater pouring into the enclosed room.
Wait,
As soon as they said that Jaren was a DIYer, I
flooding
fucking
this
knew it.
room with rainwater.
I knew it
The
right from
culprit's
then.
goal was to secure their own alibi at the estimated time of death.
I was thinking rainwater with the hose through the vent was a possibility. I didn't think it would actually be the thing here, though, admittedly.
From the beginning.
I did think about it for a
What the
fucking
culprit
brief
did the
time,
day of the
but
crime in order. First, the culprit mixed sleeping pills into the victim's dinner. While the victim was asleep, the culprit proceeded to prepare the trick.
I see, okay. Now when you incorporate something that I couldn't factor in, I guess that would have given it away though, wouldn't it?
After eating dinner.
Yeah, that would have given it all away, huh?
The victim
Although I
likely
suspected
went
the
to his
fiance
room
the entire fucking time, again, might I add, because my
culprit
analytical
proceeded to his
perceptive
room.
skills are way too good and my intuition is way too goddamn strong.
That was how the victim was transported to this room.
Did I call it or did I fucking call
At
it?
this point, you're sure he was still alive?
Of course. If the culprit murdered the victim,
The other thing that gave it away as the husband or the fiance being the culprit behind this case is the fact that it's a personalized story as well.
Their alibi. The preparations were done in this room. After bringing the victim here, the culprit used duct tape on the gap near the door to weather strip it.
Weather stripping.
Weather strip. What's that?
Not what I expected. I didn't even
Prevent
factor
water
that
from
in.
leaking outside.
What do you mean?
I did that to seal the door, yes, but to weatherproof it, I didn't think so.
After weather stripping the door, the culprit started destroying the fish tanks. The culprit likely covered them with cloth to dampen the noise. Once he smashed all of them, he leaned the victim onto the fish tank.
Right.
The culprit then moved to the window on the veranda
Right.
and weather stripped the outside of it. Finally, they took
The weather stripping makes sense though because he's a DIYer.
through the vent to the inside of the room.
Fucking got you.
Preparations in place, the culprit left through the veranda
Uh-huh.
and returned to the mansion as if nothing.
Exactly like I thought.
How does that complete everything? The victim was still alive at the time, right? When was he murdered?
The victim naturally drowned after being left alone for several hours.
Huh? How's that?
Because the perpetual rain and Kanai ward made it possible.
Flooded the room in a few hours. The whole room was turned into a fish tank. This
Exactly.
tank filled with rainwater.
Exactly.
That is how the victim drowned.
Damn, I'm good. Is he good?
The whole
Give me some goddamn motherfucking credit on this bitch.
That can't be.
It can.
The proof lies in the stained walls. The day of the murder.
And there was a cutscene explaining it, so you know it's true.
With rainwater.
That also means you're fucking single again.
killed the victim?
God, I'm good.
Correct. Only in this city could such an approach be.
Give me some fucking credit, dude. I deduced this whole thing like a goddamn god.
This makes it easy to estimate.
Detective Master
to a
Genius.
certain degree.
Official title.
So it is not impossible to create this alibi trick with some calculation.
Right.
I think that's a bit of a stretch. Wouldn't it take at least half a day for the room to fill with
What do you mean no? I case closed this bitch on the first
I'm
2
sure it would
minutes.
require more rainwater than usual to accomplish.
I said it was the fucking fiance the whole time.
All the rain falling around this giant mansion.
Sorry, I was gonna call him husband, but they're not wed yet, so I can't do that, so I fumbled right there.
It would require slight adjustments to the rain.
You're up to some fishy shit, you fishy fiance motherfucker.
Flow to the veranda.
I knew Jaren was too stupid of a name.
Adjustments to the rain gutters?
There would be plenty of water if all of the rain that pours upon the mansion is rerouted to this room.
Right.
That explains how the culprit secured their alibi while drowning the victim.
Because they didn't have to be there.
Before the body was found, they removed the weather stripping and drained the water through the veranda.
Through the veranda, thank you, Halara.
Drain in the veranda. You should find dead tropical fish that were carried out with the rainwater.
That's right, honey.
Culprit smashed the tanks beforehand to prevent rainwater from being stored inside.
Ah.
Well, that's how I would have done it. But maybe the culprit didn't realize that before they started draining the water. Seeing the fish tanks filled with rainwater, the culprit panicked and smashed all of the glass to hide the evidence. They must have carelessly broken the one fish tank the corpse was leaning on in the process. Isn't that how it went, Jaren?
Yeah, Jaren.
Correct. You are the culprit.
You stupid named motherfucker!
Hold on. Is this some kind of joke?
Is your name some kind of joke?
Why would I kill my father-in-law? That's
Inheritance money.
But
You desperate, stingy bastard.
days before the incident.
that's because you asked me to fix them. How does fixing some stuff pin me as the culprit?
If we go outside and see a hole drilled in the side of it, you have no argument,
So you
motherfucker.
intend on maintaining that you're not the culprit?
Of course.
Then
Oh, your
I'll
tone
ask
changed.
our little friend for the answer.
Ooh.
Come here, sugar.
Yeah, come here, sugar.
This is the rubber hose used for the trick. There are
Scent.
streaks on its surface. That's the proof.
Point out the culprit,
I'm
boy.
sure the culprit tried to dispose of it, tying it into a knot before throwing it away.
Why would you throw it away close by, you fucking idiot?
Good girl, sugar.
Oh, sorry, girl.
Only the
Sorry to assume the dog's gender. Don't crucify me like Jesus Christ.
I'm
My
sure the
bad.
scent is still on it.
God forbid I fucking misgender the dog.
Who do you smell on this?
Yeah, who do you smell on this? Aha, you son of a bitch! Irrefutable, undeniable proof. You suave fuck. Look at him, he's like, I knew I should have strangled that fucking dog.
I won't accept it. If I have to, I'll kill all of you.
Uh-huh.
Hey, don't tell me that you're really
No shit, Sherlock!
So close to getting all that money.
I fucking knew it.
Calm down. Hey, why me?
Yako, maybe you shouldn't have stood so close to the guy that we suspected of being the culprit the whole time, you fucking idiot!
Off with you. Damn you, detectives. This is your fault for sticking your nose into my life.
She was fucking rich, dude! You could've just wholesomely loved her and waited for her father to die. You could've waited it out, you fucking moron!
Bad at this sort of thing. Please,
You could've just feigned innocence and said I'm down on my luck.
I'll kill. Ow.
Boom! Get it, bitch! Yeah, tie his hands with the rubber hose that he used to murder the man.
Save me.
Damn, I'm good.
Never thought it would be like this.
Cold as fuck detective.
What am I supposed to do?
Marry me instead. I love animals. I'm good with pets. I'm a badass. I can fight. I'm smart as fuck.
That's what she said.
I'm hot as shit. Just saying. On the table.
If you ever need help, come to us. The Nocturnal Detective Agency will always be at your service.
Thank you.
God, I'm fucking good, dude. I nailed that one like a motherfucker. Come on, man. Tell me I didn't nail that shit. Ooh, it's fucking adorable!
As promised, you can keep that cat here.
Fuck yeah. Ah! It's so fucking cute!
That's what the cat is saying.
It's not the cutest video game cat I've ever seen, but it's pretty fucking adorable.
Detective? Well, I suppose I don't mind.
You said that as a dog was on screen, so you have something to explain to us?
Even for the animal.
What are you talking about? What did I say?
Right. I hope
I guarantee you it's not the most questionable thing I've said tonight.
nicer place for them to live.
I think the most questionable thing I've said tonight has to go to the roofies with Desahiko, honestly.
You're so cold to humans that you like animals.
Just like me. I hate everybody.
See, there you go again, making that scary face.
Come on. Yako, it is an adorable ass cat. Come on, dude.
It sure would be nice to see more of that smile around here.
Allow me to have more cats, dick.
I hope you keep using your powers to change the city. I know you can do it. For their sake, too.
That depends on the payment.
Exactly.
Come on.
Stone cold badass.
Well, how's this? Consider it the reward for this case. And maybe you could ask for permission next time.
Oh, she was using his milk to feed the cats.
Thanks.
Aww. Come on, dude. Is Halara not best girl? Come on, dude. They all have so much character. I love that so much. They told you to raise the roof, not raise the roofies. That's a fair point.